You know, I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, PlayStation has been getting some good bangers lately. And by good bangers, I mean they're getting absolutely destroyed out there, which is amazing because Xbox was the one that was getting destroyed for such a long time. But I guess PlayStation did exactly what I said PlayStation would do, and that is get comfortable. They realized that, with Xbox potentially bowing out of the console wars, they decided, okay, we don't really gotta try that hard. Now we can just start doing whatever nonsense we gotta do in order to maintain our place in the market. But the funny thing is that goes away very quickly, as we have found out. So we have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, PlayStation is rumored to be developing ultra-woke game featuring transgender protagonists and complaining about a lack of women leaders.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Now, I find it quite amazing that with all of these programs, right, you got DEI programs out the ass. Every single one of these gaming studios, for the most part, AAA studios, have some form of insane DEI program that allows them to interject people who probably either wouldn't have been there in the first place, didn't want to be there in the second place, or didn't deserve to be there in the third place. Like, they don't care, right? And the fact is, even with all these DEI programs, they are still struggling to find the numbers that they want because you're just not going to get it, right? You're not going to reach the level of representation that you're looking for when your pool to pull from is already super small as it is. You're trying to find all these women leaders when there isn't really that many to pull from in the first place. You're trying to find all these trans people when there isn't that many to pull from in the first place. So where are you really going to find these numbers? Who really knows? But at the end of the day, if this is what they're really doing, I honestly can't wait for it. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says a new rumor claims that PlayStation Studios is developing a game featuring a so-called transgender protagonist who complains about the lack of women leaders in his community. The rumor comes from Noticia's PlayStation account on X, who shares via X's machine translation. A casting for PlayStation Studios game currently in production would be looking for the following: girl of about 20 or 30 years old with dark skin and transgender. Knife expert. The story will be about how their culture does not accept women as leaders in their community. Jesus, this sounds like the most boring fucking game I've ever seen in my life. And let's make one thing very clear, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna stand by this because I say this all the time. Games like this are allowed to exist. Nobody can say otherwise, right? Games like this are absolutely allowed to exist. Where a lot of the complaints come from is where you take franchises that existed long before this woke shit, right? Franchises that have existed for a long time that people have loved for decades, right? Or just years in general. And then you take those franchises and you wokeify the fuck out of them and then you ruin them. That's what people have a problem with. But this new shit, yeah, absolutely. It has a right to exist. Okay, do we have a right to roast you? Absolutely. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we do have a right to roast you because honestly, we know you're going to lose a lot of money on this shit. It's proven time and time again. But yeah, it does have a right to exist, so that's perfectly fine. And I'm happy that at least at the bare minimum, they are at least doing something brand new instead of co-opting something that's already existed. I am tired of all the remakes. I am tired of all the co-opting of franchises and sequels that end up not actually being sequels. They get ruined. Look what's happening to Dragon Age 4 right now, Dreadwolf, or whatever the fuck it's called now, the Veilguard. It shows that, yeah, you can make your own stuff, but stop co-opting the shit people actually care about. In a subsequent post, the account added, regarding the casting call that I published a few days ago, I would like to clarify on some things. It was never a bait. It is 100% real. The info was taken from a page where you have to register to see the casting calls. There are also Ubisoft, Activision, and other SIE games. I claim that it's a PlayStation Studios game because the casting director's history 99% of the time worked for SIE. He added, trust me, guys, I would never go into the mud without being 100% sure of things with a sensitive topic like this. Now, again, this is someone pulling information on their own. You got to take it with a grain of salt, but does it really sound too shocking at the end of the day to have a black transgender female character complaining about the lack of women leaders in their community? Like, it's a story that they have tried to interject in other IPs so many times, and of course, PlayStation is going to jump on this again. According to ex-user Rhino the Bouncer, the website this information was garnered from was Actors Access. New info: PlayStation Studios reportedly looking for a new casting for a new game currently in production. 20 or 30-year-old dark-skinned trans woman, knife expert. The story revolves about how their culture doesn't accept women as leaders in the community. So again, somebody else is verifying this information on their own without actually quote tweeting the first initial person. The website describes how projects get cast via its FAQ. A casting director or filmmaker will send us their project information, and we will work with them to get their breakdown prepared for release. They decide where they want to go, and we release it to agents and managers and or actors in those regions. It adds agents and managers view projects on breakdownexpress.com and actors view projects on actoraccess.com. In both cases, the actor's access profile is submitted for casting to view submissions and select the actors they want to audition. Actors audition via EchoCast self-tape, in person, or through EchoCast Live. Casting works with their collaborators to finalize casting. Furthermore, the website confirms it does voice as well as animation work. We post over 97% of the scripted content that requires actors in North America. This film, TV, theater, commercial, voice, and animation. We support the entire industry, for student filmmakers to the biggest budget studio and network projects. So again, the information seems like it is pretty damn valid. If it was found on this website, there is an extremely high probability that this rumor is to be true, which just goes to show the direction of PlayStation Studios and what they're trying to do, considering that they feel like they have the market now. They feel like they're not competing with Xbox anymore. They felt like that with a few years now. And you see what happens when companies like this get very comfortable. And this has been my biggest fear out of everything. I mean, you guys already know they're making a game called Concord, and that's not exactly, scared of showcasing massive amounts of DEI. So what's to say that this is not true? It just goes to show it's just another game PlayStation Studios trying to do in their DEI market. And again, I just wish that there was a little more competition. I don't like when these companies get super comfortable, because when they do, they end up getting lazy. And then when they get lazy, they don't innovate. And when they don't innovate, they get extremely stagnant. And that's how gamers end up losing at the end of the day, really. Like, if you're a gamer and you're trying to buy really good games and hope to see more good games come out, you're not going to get them from a company that's extremely complacent, just taking your money with live service games and offering you nothing else. So I really hope that Xbox doesn't leave the eventual, console wars. Furthermore, the developer's director of IP, Kim Krenas, detailed the game will feature cinematic vignettes every week, giving players to explore the relationships of the characters in Concord. She said every character brings their own unique personality, skills, and wide-ranging perspectives to the crew. She added, every week when you log into Concord, you'll be welcomed with a new cinematic vignette that will give you a chance to see our characters off the job. They will feature ongoing narrative arcs that grow the character stories and relationships and unpack the broader Concord galaxy. Yeah, basically you're going to log in every day into Concord, and you're going to see just some gayness. That's really, like, you're just going to see, I don't really mean to make that joke, but that's really what it is, man. You're going to log in, and you're going to see two dudes banging or two girls banging or whatever the case may be, and you're going to see that every day. That's what it is. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.